Hello everyone, Daniel Kerr here. So I have an absolutely ridiculous technique that I want to show you for drops. I can see this being beneficial for heavy dubstep genres like Tearout, IDM, glitches. You can do all kinds of stuff with this. Let me show it to you and then I'll walk you through how I did it.
My brothers of the sword, I'd rather fight beside you than any army of thousands. Let no man forget how menacing we are. We are lions. You know what's there? Waiting. Beyond that beach. Immortality! Take it! It's yours!
Okay, so that performance was decent, but it was kind of quick because it kind of just thought of the idea. So I want to go over some of the sounds in here and I'll go over the technique. So first thing, I'm going to solo the synth part and just show you there's a synth node in there. These are single cycle waveforms that are in the pack, link in the description. Just kind of auditioning some of those. This is the pattern. Got a kick there, got a snare, got some hi-hats. Oops. That's my sliced drum kit. This is also the hybrid drum kit, but I'm going to change it to a break for this example so I can show you how you can quickly do what I was talking about. Now, in number 3 here, these are hybrid bass stabs, okay? And I have a bunch of those. Let's check them out. I created these in software in Ableton Live, and I have a couple of racks that I've made in Ableton Live that spit these things out by the dozens, right? So they're all like random, aleatoric Max for Live devices that control VSTs and things, and they just spit out these different bass stabs. It changes the parameters, right? So these are what a lot of these sound like. this is how I do the performance. As you can see, I use the arpeggiator to spit these things out. Different places on the arpeggiator ribbon will give you different timing, right? So all the way at the top is 16th notes, right? And you could use a roll, but I don't need it for this. In the middle is 8th notes. At the bottom is 4th notes, okay? What's funny is that between the middle and the top and between the middle and the bottom, it'll give you triplets, right? Which is sometimes, it's sometimes desirable, right? Not all the time, and sometimes you accidentally use triplets. So that's what, you know, where a lot of this just takes practice, right? So change the voices. I'm in part edit and I'm just scrolling between the different bass stabs, right? So if I'm gonna go ahead and send that new break, the sliced break, to the compressor, set the levels, and I'm going to record it across the board so it'll give me some drums. You can use the arpeggiator, as you can see, in the sliced drum part also to add notes. Okay, so it's all in there. Going through some of the breaks to listen. Obviously, each one of these sliced breaks has slices in different spots, but since I put the first one in, it kind of stays there. You can mess with some of these, like mess with, add and remove slices using this method sometimes. I'm getting rid of everything that's not on the eighth note grid at this point. Heavy breaks. This pack has a lot of breaks in it as well. Just experimenting with a different synth sound and things. This is all going to make sense for performance. You already got one technique, which is just use the arpeggiator for the bass stabs. This one. And then scroll through them with the while using the arpeggiator. Yep. So gonna record this in there. I've decided I'm just gonna put one stab in 1 and 5. Scroll through the parts haphazardly, use the arpeggiator. Now, none of this is super groundbreaking. I've covered this before, but we will get into some new things in a moment. Now, I just put in, scrolling through, right? Now what I want to do is I want to basically learn how to, right now I'm adjusting the timing. You know, some of these are off. They're not on the 8th note grid. They're on the inverse grid, and I don't like that, so I'm changing them, right? The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to take what we just did and automate the changes scrolling through the parts, right? While I'm performing, I'm going to show you how to automate the part changes using the pattern set. Just continuing to adjust the timing here. There's a part change, right? So now I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna go ahead and write it to number 1. It's in 150 BPMs and it's a length of 8 bars. If you can see down there, the pattern set button, I just touched it. Notice I have a little red heart on there. I'm literally thinking about painting it like hot neon hunter orange, right? Because sometimes in my performance, I will press the keyboard button or the shift button when I should be using the pattern set button, right? This pattern set button is also how you initiate and uninitiate pattern changes on, pattern chaining on the fly, right? Super underutilized. What we're going to do is we're going to set the pattern for each one of those triggers at the bottom. That's going to make sense in a moment. Hold on. First thing I got to do is make multiple copies of this first sequence. Remember, it's a length of 8 bars. I'm going to change it down to a length of 1 bar. Okay, first thing I want to do is make copies. I'm going to write it to number 2, write it again to number 3, write it again to number 4, and write it again to number 5. I'm going to leave A1 8 bars and leave it where it's supposed to be. As is, I guess I should say, as it is now. I'm going to go to A number 2, A number 1, A number 2, and I'm going to go down to, first thing I'm going to do is move data. I'm going to hold down shift and I'm going to move all the data 1 bar. So that's what you do. You hold down shift, hold down shift and hit number 2, move data, select, then hold down shift again and it says plus 1.00. What that means is that all the data that's in that track is going to move forward 1 bar and 0 notes. You could use the 0.00 to add 16 notes. So you could make it move 1 bar and 4 notes, for instance. Anyway, I'm going to do 1 bar for the first variation. Got to hit it to engage, sure. Notice it starts in the 2nd bar now. One thing that I didn't do is I moved that one 2 bars. I'm going to write it, go to number 4, move data, yes, hold down shift, 3 bars, go back 1, yep, 3.00, yes, do it, write it, go to number 5, move data, 4 bars, back 1 without shift. Now I'm going to go to each one of these and change the voices. Length, 1 bar. You want to change them all the length to 1 bar. Change the voices. Go to the length, 1 bar. Right. Now, you can change all kinds of things in each one of these. You can change effect settings. You can change voices. You can change parts completely. You'll see some of that in a moment. Just experimenting. Go to the length, change it to 1 bar. The reason why I'm changing these to 1 bar is because when I pattern chain them, they're going to jump around. They're going to change completely every bar instead of waiting a full 8 bars to go to the next pattern. Copy. This time, for this pattern, I've decided to record a completely different part. Which is easy because it's only 1 bar, right? Loops around really quickly. Change the voice, change the note length, add some effects. Three-eighths is a good time for dubstep. The break for this part. Change the length of the sliced parts in the sliced break. Change the pitch of the sliced break. Get rid of some of these notes so it's not so full. Change this to some of my sliced synth notes. Nice plucky bass. That guy. Just basically making changes to each section, each little piece of this, right? Sounds pretty. Get rid of the 16th notes and make this 8th notes. Just either subtle or drastic changes, just making each one of these pieces unique. This will all make sense in a moment. Change the snare sound here. Get rid of some of the notes in the slice part again. Change the break sound. Play with the pitch. Play with the length of the slices. Add some effects, or experiment at least. Okay, this is what the various parts sound like. Now, if I was to do that manually, it would be hard. So what we're going to do is we're going to, wow, it looks like I'm adding some more keyboard stuff. Haha. Add a little sub here. Deep sub there, if you can hear it with headphones or subs, but it doesn't end up translating well. Much better. So now, if I use this pattern set button down here, I can hold that down. And if I go to slot 1, it's already set to A1. If I go to slot 2, it's default set to A14. So I'll just back that up while still holding to A2, A3, A4, and A5. Now, I've tried everything that I could think of to try to save these pattern set slots so that when I turn off the machine and turn it back on, they're still set. I don't know how to do it. Even saving the project using global save all still does not save those points. I'm going to look in the manual and see if there's a way, but as it stands now, I've been having to set these pretty much every time I turn the machine on, which is a serious pain, right? But it's still worth it. Let's watch. Hold down pattern set and I can just fire these off, right? Now obviously this is very precise, and it's nice to be able to, in a very short amount of time, in one bar, to be able to skip ahead, 10, 15 patterns if I want to, right? Just from one to the other. Now, let's go back. The thing is to be able to do that on the fly while I was performing and playing with effects and muting and unmuting and scrolling through the bass stabs or whatever I might be doing, filter sweeps, right? It would be almost impossible without this next trick. So if I go back, jumping all over, right? Okay, now, if you look right here on the screen, you've got the shift button and you have the pattern set button, okay? If you hold down both at once, you can select a range of these pattern set locations, by just selecting, well, in this demonstration, I'm going to just hold down Shift and pattern set. And I'm just going to hold down, I'm just going to press the 2 and the 5. I don't have to press the 3 and the 4, because if I press the 2 and the 5, it'll give me this entire range, and it will chain those patterns together on the fly, and it will continue to loop until I disengage it, all right? It's really valuable, because then it just scrolls through these pattern set locations and chains them together, and I can perform, I can do whatever with my hands, and it does all of the changes automatically. So let's watch. Okay, Shift, pattern set, hold them together, select the 5 and the 2. Notice those 4 are lighted up, lit up. It's lit, fam. And I can let go of it and go back to 1 as soon as I hit that pattern chain or pattern set button. I can do it again on the fly, see? Here it comes. Now while this is looping, I can play here. And I can mess with any of the effects. I can make huge swells, because as soon as the next pattern set, the next chain pattern comes in, it snaps back to its saved state. Listen to that. Look at that. Think of the possibilities. Yikes. Okay, so that's it. Yeah, you can grab this pack. This pack has multiple full Korg ESX project files in it. It has dozens and dozens and dozens of synths and drums. I'll put a link in the description, and you can just go check it out. It'll give you a full list of what's in the pack. It's been really amazing working with the Korg ESX again lately, and I hope that you guys are getting some good stuff out of this. If you are, like and subscribe, and please leave me a comment. Let me know what you've learned, or if you got something out of it. If you share this material, that makes me even happier. Go to ghostwrittenclips.com. Right now, the website is in transition, so if you're buying things in the old shop, you're going to have to wait till you get an email, and I'll manually send you a link to get the stuff you just purchased. I know that sounds ridiculous, but the new format is going to be incredible. If you go and sign up for the email list, ghostwrittenclips.com, I do have an email coming. I've been promising one for 2 weeks. That's how little I spam, is that I promise emails and they take a long time to come. Sometimes I don't send more than 2 per year, and they always contain free stuff and huge amounts of value. I really appreciate you guys. I've got 5,000 subs coming up. You know what? 5,000 subscribers, it seems like a lot, but I've been doing this for many, many, many years. Actually, on October 11th, my channel was 18 years old. My channel's old enough to vote. Be blessed, everyone.